You woke up, looked at the ceiling, and realized the night passed, but the energy didn't come back. Your phone is right there. The day has already started. You need to get up, respond, go somewhere, talk, figure things out. But inside, it's like someone laid an invisible weight on your chest. Not pain, not illness, just a heaviness you can't explain. And here's the strange part. You can't point to where it hurts, because it's not a place that hurts. It's the way you're living that hurts. You can't explain it to anyone else either, because there are no obvious causes. Things are fine, more or less. You have work, you have family, but the heaviness, it doesn't go away. First, something important. If you're feeling this kind of exhaustion, it's worth checking in with your body. Sleep, blood work, hormones, deficiencies, your nervous system. Sometimes there's something physical underneath that needs a doctor's attention. Don't ignore that. But there's another kind of exhaustion, when your body actually rested, but something inside didn't. That's what we're talking about today. There's the tiredness everyone knows. You work hard, push yourself, sleep, wake up, you feel better. Normal cycle. The body gives and receives. Then there's another kind, the kind you don't recover from, because it doesn't come from effort. First, emotional exhaustion. You might be the person everyone comes to, with questions, with pain, with requests, with anxiety. You listened to one person, supported another, calmed down a third, and by evening you realize no one asked how you were doing all day. This is the exhaustion of giving without being replenished. A day off doesn't fix it. It's fixed by restoring balance. Sometimes, by giving yourself permission to receive, not just give. Second, exhaustion from living someone else's life. Sometimes you're not tired from the work itself. You're tired because it's not your work, because the role you're living isn't quite yours. You say the right things, play the right part, maintain the image of someone who has it together. But every day, it feels like you're quietly betraying something inside that's been asking for something different for a long time. Sometimes exhaustion appears not because there's too much to do, but because there's too little of you in what you're doing. That's a very specific kind of heaviness. It feels like something you're carrying but can't put down, because you don't even know what exactly you're carrying. Third, exhaustion from meaninglessness. You close tasks, you respond, you deliver, you buy things, you drive somewhere, you pay bills. But inside, there's no sense that any of it is for something, that it matters to someone, that it's building toward anything important. When action gets disconnected from meaning, energy drains fast, even if the workload isn't objectively heavy. Fourth, exhaustion from constant control. Some people aren't tired from life itself. They're tired from always performing. I'm fine. At work, hold it together. At home, don't snap. With friends, don't dump on them. In the family, be the strong one. And nowhere, ever, just be a person. That costs a lot, especially if you've done it for years with no place to exhale. There's a kind of exhaustion that doesn't come from overwork. It comes from living out of place. When a person goes too long without listening to that quiet thing inside, conscience, a gift, honesty, the need for something real, that kind of exhaustion isn't always the enemy. Sometimes it's a quiet signal. Come back. Not to the past, not necessarily to drop everything, but back to the place inside where you're still alive. What to do with this? First step, honestly answer, what exactly am I exhausted by? Not everything. Be specific. 4 questions that help you find the source. Where am I giving more than I can restore? Where am I living a role that isn't mine? Where am I doing a lot, but can't find the meaning? Where have I been holding it together too long, without letting myself just be human. Once the source is named, it becomes clearer what's needed. Sometimes it's a boundary. Sometimes it's a conversation that's been put off. Sometimes it's one small space each week that belongs only to you. Second, the rest needs to match what's missing. If you're tired of people, solitude restores you. If it's meaninglessness, you need something that gives the feeling of real, tangible results. If it's control, you need a place where you don't have to hold it together. Exhaustion doesn't always ask you to lie down. Sometimes it asks you to stop living someone else's life. Sometimes to set a boundary. Sometimes to come back to meaning. Sometimes to admit, for the first time in a long time, I'm a person, not just something for other people to lean on. People are often ashamed of exhaustion, as if being tired means you're not coping. But exhaustion isn't always a verdict. Sometimes it's a letter from the part of you you've been ignoring too long. If something resonated, write the number in the comments. Just that. No need to explain.